So I'm going to go into my tools, build a code, and I'm going to also select the code set, the CPT, want the procedure, because we're working with CPT procedure code sets now, okay? All right. My mouse is sticky, I tell ya. I have to use my cursor here in the, instead of my okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the first step, and it says select evaluation and management. Okay, so that's right there. And then it says to select emergency department services, which is right here. And then we have new or established patient emergency department services. Okay. And then our last one here, we are to look for an emergency department visit high urgent severity using the following steps. So again, when I selected on the newer established patient emergency department services, it says select the last step in the coding process. So that means we're going to click or select the code for emergency department visit high urgent severity using the following steps. So therefore, or rather emergency department visit high urgent severity. Okay, so from this list, I tried to minimize it so I can kind of let you see. I don't have to click back and forth between the document, the assignment rather, and the final code. So based off of these selections, which code would you select for emergency department visit high urgent severity? Which code would you select? CPT code would you select for emergency department visit high urgent severity? Yep, that's correct. That's correct. Good job. 99284. So that means you would just enter that code into this selection. Okay, and I'm just going to highlight it here. All right, so now moving on to the second one. Now we're going to build another code, okay? And so our next build a code wants us to select anesthesia. And then it says anesthesia for procedures on the upper abdomen. So I have anesthesia and then procedures on the upper abdomen. Okay, so that's right here, anesthesia for procedures on the upper abdomen. Then it also states, okay, select the last step, which is anesthesia, upper GI endoscopy, proximal to duodenum. Again, based on what we're to build a code for, anesthesia, upper GI endoscopy, proximal to duodenum, which code would you select for anesthesia, upper GI endoscopy, proximal to duodenum? That's correct, 00740. That is correct. Good job. Good job. All right. And again, once I search for that and you found that right here, just click on it. And that's what it means by select the last step. Okay, so when you select the last step, that's what you're going to click on, that last step, example 00740. And then this is what you're going to retrieve the code and enter it into that last box or the last step. Okay. Let me expand that, maximize, and this is what you would see for these codes. And that's how you complete your week for Build a Code homework assignment using our CPT procedural codes. Okay. All right. Now going on to the next homework assignment. I'm going to go ahead and to find a code search because that was just our build a code. So let's go to, I do apologize for my mouse sticking so much. I'm going to have to see about this prior to tomorrow's session. Hopefully it's fixed by then, or I can use an actual, like another mouse, opposite from the computer or the laptop. So just a handheld mouse. So I'm going to try to figure that out. So in the meantime, I'm going to unselect ICD-10 because I know I just want CPT. Okay, I'm even, I'm even going to deselect modifiers in HCPCS or HCPC. Okay, so now for our next assignment, we have at the bottom here. Again, my mouse is sticky, so I'm just going to use the cursor in the meantime until it does want to, cooperate. So if I'm using find a code, search for the correct, you know what? Disregard this selection, okay? Take note, disregard this. It should be the correct CPT code for, okay? I do apologize for that discrepancy. I'm going to have to note the instructional design, okay, to change that. So it's the correct CPT, not ICD-9. Okay, again, it's the correct CPT code. Okay. So what is the evaluation management CPT code for initial hospital care per day, high complexity? So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this into our search engine. Okay, so from this, again, I just want to give you a little history. So initial hospital care per day, high complexity. So this is going to be a hospital visit, okay? So let's click on Find a Code Comprehensive Search. Okay, so no complete matches found, but we do have partial matches. Remember I told you sometimes, okay, we're going to have the correct code within the partial. So we just have to click on the links and see what's going to give us the best option, okay? So you know what? We have the first two here. Let's just go ahead and click on both of those so we can compare and we'll know which one to rule out, okay? Or if these are the correct ones. So the first one says, initial observation care per day for the evaluation and management of a patient, which requires these three components. Okay, now it does say high complexity, like our assignment says, and it says per day, correct. However, if you notice, it says initial observation care. Our assignment did not state initial observation care, it says initial hospital care. So this doesn't look like the right one. And then at the bottom, it also says, usually the problem or problems requiring admission to observation status are of high severity. So again, observation status. We do not want to code for initial observation care. Again, we want initial hospital, not observation. Okay? So let's look at the next one, 99223. We have initial hospital care, okay, per day. All right, so far so good. High complexity, high severity. This is our code. This is it. Okay, so 99223 would be the correct code for number 8. Okay. Okay, now moving on to number 9. We have new office patient, moderate severity. Or, for more specificity, we have new office patient with detailed history, detailed exam, and medical decision-making of low complexity. Okay. Now, if you were to just select or type in new office patient, moderate severity, it would require a few more steps, okay? Meaning you would have to click on evaluation and management services, and then you'd have to select on the actual type of visit, which in this case was just an office or outpatient visit. You would not select hospital. So again, it just requires more steps, but again, more detailed information you have, it makes it easier to locate the specific code required, okay? So we have new office patient, we have detailed history, detailed exam, and medical decision-making of low complexity. So I'm going to go ahead and select the search box here, okay? So again, we have no complete matches found, but we do have some partial matches. So let's go ahead and select a couple of these, again, just to rule things out and differentiate the codes. Oh my goodness, my mouse. I do apologize, everyone. Okay, so let's start with, okay, the first one I pulled up was, what, 99243. Yep, okay, 99243. So this says office consultation for a new or established patient. Okay, that's correct. We do have, this in this case, it's new patient. Okay, requires 3 components: detailed history, detailed examination, and medical decision making of low complexity. Okay, remember we did have to find for detailed history, detailed exam, and low complexity. Okay, new office patient. All right, so that one looks like it could be it. Okay, however, let's look at 99203. office or other outpatient visit, okay, for the evaluation and management of a new patient, which requires these three components: detailed history, exam, and medical decision making of low complexity. Okay, now remember, I said this one looks like it could be it. However, our actual document says to follow more specificity, new office patient with detailed history, exam, medical decision making of low complexity. So basically, new office patient. We have an office consultation for a new or established patient, but this one says office or other outpatient visit of a new patient. Okay, so this one again, office consultation for a new or established patient, as opposed to this one, office or other outpatient visit for the evaluation measure of a new patient. So this is more specified in detail to what we are looking for. Okay, you see how that works? So new office patient, new patient, specifically for a new patient office visit. Okay, that's exactly what we're looking for, of a detailed history, exam, and medical decision making of low complexity. Okay, so this is going to be our code 99203. Okay, and then last but not least for this assignment, we have, what is the code for physician standby services? Okay, so let's go back into our find a code. Let's delete this. Physician standby services. Okay, so we have two complete matches here. And let's go ahead and click on 99360. Okay, standby service requiring prolonged attendance each 30 minutes. Okay, now let's go to our next one. Let me take that tab out. All right, now let's go to standby services. Okay, it's basically the same code. So the same code is underneath the actual title, standby services. Okay, so let's get out of that because we know it's the same code. So let's, again, 99360, this is our actual code. Okay, physician standby service. And it just let you know it's requiring prolonged attendance each 30 minutes. Example, for any operative, standby for frozen section, for cesarean high-risk delivery. They're on basically kind of pretty much, on call just in case, they need some assistance. So they're on standby. Okay, high-risk delivery, monitoring EEG. They need an extra set of expertise rather than the physician on standby. Okay, so again, 99360 is going to be our specific code for number 10. Okay, and that's how we complete that specific assignment. Okay, for using the codes for CPT codes rather. Okay, and remember, again, using find a code, search for the correct CPT code. So if you see ICD-9, ICD-10, disregard that. It's search for the correct CPT code. Okay, again, CPT code, not ICD-9 or 10, CPT. Okay. All right. Okay, and I also wanted to tap into just a couple of hi Luca, how are you? I see you joined us. I just wanted to tap into just one or two questions, one or two questions within one of the questions in Connect. Okay, so let me go ahead and get out of that. Again, I'm going to try to see about this mouse situation because it's sticking a lot. So again, my apologies. So for week 4 homework 1, I believe, I just want to go over letter A and B for, I believe it was the first one, if I'm not mistaken. So bear with me here. I'm just bringing Connect up here for a little bit. And we're going to go into your week 4 homework 1. Now, I will be going over the remainder of number 1 for week 4 homework, as well as the other question for tomorrow, and then the other 2 assignments on Wednesday. I just wanted to just show you a few things for this evening, okay? So I'm into the student view and Connect, week 4, assignment 1, go, Okay, is this the first one? Yes, it is. Okay, this is the one I just want to go over. Just the first two. I'll go with the first two, okay? So, excuse me. So, find the following codes in the index of CPT. Enter the key term you use to find the code. Now, I just wanted to let you know that when it says enter the key term, that's pretty much is meaning enter the main term you use to find the code, okay? So in this case, if we had an actual physical code book manual, then what term would you use? That's basically what that's referring to. However, in this case, since we have online resources, we have find a code tool, we're going to basically, that means enter the main term, okay, of the actual procedure, okay? And then, of course, from last week's session, we defined what the difference between main term, subterms, things of that nature. So this is main term. So the main term means the actual condition, actual procedure, what was done, what type of procedure was done, okay? So in this case, we're going to go ahead and start with the first one, intracapsular lens extraction. Okay, so if you want, you can basically use both find a code, search, and also the Clickadex, okay? So I'm going to type in intracapsular extraction, have CPT checked, okay? So there's 3 complete matches, okay? Let's start with the first one. The first one says removal of lens material intracapsular. That's dead on, okay? Let's just go to the next one. The next one says removal lens material intracapsular for dislocated lens. That's extra. That's not what the assignment required. It didn't say anything about dislocated lens. It just says intracapsular lens extraction. Okay, now let's go to the next one. And it says intracapsular cataract extraction with insertion of intraocular lens prosthetic. See, it's more detailed. And again, our assignment, it just states plain old intracapsular lens extraction, and that's it. So therefore, 66920 would be the correct code for intracapsular lens extraction. Now, moving on to the actual term used to find it. Now, in this case, again, I said you can use both find a code. If you just want to, if it's easier for you to find a code first and then go to Clickadex just to see what comes up, or if anything comes up under the actual terms you try, then that's fine. We're going to go into Clickadex, that's the index, okay? And I'm going to use the drop down and go to CPT index under procedure code sets. That's what we're looking for, the CPT procedure code sets, okay? So I defaulted that for index CPT, okay? Now we're going to type in intracapsular. It says, whoops. Okay, so it says no results found beginning with intracapsular. Okay, it says cataract removal intracapsular. Okay, and if we click on that, then there's a whole bunch of different type of things we don't need, because again, our question asks for intracapsular lens extraction. Okay, and that's not the correct code because it's intracapsular cataract extraction, and so intraocular. That's not what we want. Okay, because again, we just want intracapsular lens extraction. We didn't specify anything with the cataract, the intraocular lens prosthesis, none of that. Okay, so we know that's not the correct, the intracapsular wasn't the correct term, it was probably not the main term. Okay, now lens, okay, there's not an intracapsular there at all whatsoever. Okay. It doesn't take us. We have to go through removal, everything. It's just a lot, a large process. Again, removal, membranous, no. Okay. And see it there. Finally, it shows up there. However, let me show you something here. And I know I'm showing you a different way, but I just want to try to let you see something here. Okay, so I typed in extraction. It says no results found beginning with extraction, but it gives us what do we have to find? Intracapsular lens extraction. So we're like, okay, let's click on that. So now we have intracapsular. Oh, it takes us right to it. Okay, so it's extraction. So that particular word or key term is extraction. Again, if that's still a little bit confusing, the thing is with me as well, is how I learned was like, okay, if It's an intracapsular lens extraction. What type of procedure? The patient had an extraction. Okay, so that's the main term, extraction. Now, moving on to Coombs test. Again, what kind of test did the patient get? A Coombs test. So therefore, the key term is Coombs. You see? Okay, and again with this one, what procedure did the patient receive? The patient received an X-ray. Okay, so the key term would be an X-ray. Okay, you see how that is? Now, with letter D, okay, unlisted procedure, maxillofacial prosthetics. Now, this one's a bit tricky, and you won't be able to find it in the Clickadex online source because it says unlisted procedure. So that means we have to unfortunately state unlisted because we don't know what type of procedure was performed. It says unlisted. So our key term / main term is going to be unlisted because it doesn't specify what type of procedure. Again, like the other one says X-ray, Coombs, an extraction. This one here again, what type of immunization was provided? A DTaP. So this is the key term. Okay, so that's how you complete that. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and go over the actual code with this, and I'll finish the letter C, D, and E, and then another assignment for tomorrow. Okay, but let's go into see, I like to maneuver between them both. I know you're probably like, oh my goodness, Ms. Rogers is so she's so specific, and she just probably does more steps than she needed. But this is how I love to do it because I want to be sure everything's accurate and everything. Okay, so I just typed in Coombs. Okay, so we want Coombs test. So we have 4 selections. Okay, so now the last one is anti-human globulin test, Coombs test. It has the same codes, 86880, 885, and 886. Okay, which is all right here. So therefore, let's just, the support box came up. Okay, we don't want that. All right, so we're going to just choose between these 3 codes. Okay, so let's type, I'm going to click on all, I'm going to open all of the links. Okay, again, opening these links is helpful, extremely helpful. Okay, so let's try the first the first one. I have 86886, and that's a Coombs test. It says indirect each antibody titer. So the thing is that we have 86885 that says Coombs test indirect qualitative each reagent red cell. Okay, it's like, okay, we just want Coombs test. Okay, so it doesn't specify which red cell, if it's qualitative, it doesn't say, if it's indirect or each antibody titer, So we have the last one, 86880, which is anti-human globulin test, a Coombs test, direct each anti-serum. Plain and simple, just a direct Coombs test, each anti-serum, that's it. Okay, because again, it didn't specify if it was indirect, qualitative, and each reagent red cell. That means that if it's not direct, it's going to be indirect, qualitative, and more specific. Same with this one. It's going to be indirect because it's of each antibody titer. So that's why this one's just plain and simple, direct, and that's it, each anti-serum, done. Okay, so this is the code for Coombs test 86880. Whoops. If I can put it in the correct box. 86880. Okay.